Journal. Buddy, welcome to Coffee with Jen and Sharon. Oh wait, it's not Sharon. Who is it?
Oh, it's Eka.
Hey, Eka. I never know who's going to pop up. No, I'm kidding. I knew it was going to be Eka today. She was very gracious to take Sharon's spot. Sharon is out today. I think she's out next week too. So I'm going to put you on the spot right now, Eka. Do you want to have coffee again next week with me?
Maybe.
We'll see how it goes today, right? We'll see.
Right.
So today, Eka and I are going to talk about something. I'm kind of into pop psychology. I'm the only kid I knew who, at the age of 13, I had a subscription to Psychology Today. I thought it was really fun. I like to kind of get into the behind the scenes, what's going on in people's minds. So I recently, in some newsletter I got, they were talking about the love language that partners have and which one, that it's good if you know your own and what your partner's is so you can communicate better. And it started me thinking about the fact that this could also work for parenting, I think. So let me just set the stage, and I will tell you all what I told Eka when we talked about this behind the scenes a little bit is here are the love languages that some expert says that all couples have.
Oh, and by the way, there is a test online you can do to find out your love language.
Oh, do you know where it is?
I don't remember because I heard it about the love language on a podcast, and I was like, what? So I went online, and it was like this test, but like you had to put in your email, and did they want, and I was like, I just thought it would be like a cosmopolitan, like a Cosmo thing would be just like check, but it was going to be a little bit more involved than I had time for at that time. But there is out there. If you Google it, you can find it.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Who doesn't love a good Cosmo quiz, right?
But it's more than that. It's a little bit more.
It sounds more detailed. Yeah. All right. So hopefully this matches what you heard on the podcast, but what this expert that I saw in the article I found, these are the 5 love languages for couples. This means this is how you like to receive affection, either through words of affirmation. Oh, you look beautiful today, Eka, or you're such a great partner. Spending quality time with that person. That's how you would prefer. Like that's how you want to be shown love, as they spend quality time with you. Receiving gifts. Maybe some diamond earrings. Acts of service, doing something nice. You like when they do nice things for you, or physical touch. So I was thinking about it a little bit and wondering, some of these translate to parenting, I think, as well. Like how do we show, what is our love language? How do we express love for our kids? And it might not always be the way they would like to receive it. And it might also not be the way they like to show it to us. So anyway, I came up with some alternative ones, but before I jump into mine, Eka, I want to know, what are your thoughts about this?
I think with children, with our kids, I think it changes. I think when they're little, they want to sit in our laps and they want to cuddle, and they're like smother. And that expression, you can't spell smother without mother. So they like are all up in our business. And then as they get older, they don't even want us to touch them, So I think it changes a lot. I don't know. I mean, that's the big one for me. Was I remember my kids always on me, and then all of a sudden as they got older, sometimes they didn't even want to be in the same room as me. So that touching one was a big one. But I think there might be more than that. But maybe the ones I'm thinking about fit into those categories. So
okay. Well, I came up with a few additional love languages to choose from. Okay, for parenting. Okay, so I have nagging and critiquing. I nag because I care. I just want you to be the better version of yourself, is one version of how parents think they might be showing love, right? Oh, somebody actually put up here what the link is for the love languages. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. So I think if you want to learn more about it, you can go to that link that's in there. So I don't know if you know any parents who fall into the I nag because I care, but that's one.
Now, would that be words? I mean, would that fall into the
did you do that thing yet? How about did you get your homework done? I think I don't know if that's words of affirmation. That's just words of nagging. I don't know how else to put it. I just think that so like many, and some of us might be these parents on different days, but sometimes we think we're being helpful by saying, I'm going to keep nagging you on that so you don't have to worry about if you forgot it. Food. How about food? Do you know anybody who like food is love?
That is so cultural.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it's so, so cultural. I know that when I was growing up, my mother was Spanish, and that was, and food is such a big part
Yeah.
of the culture. And so I sometimes felt like she didn't know what else to do with us. And so she would
Mhm.
make food. But then what happened would be, if you didn't eat it, like I'd come home from school and she'd made, like this huge feast. And I'd be like, I just kind of wanted an apple. And then it'd be like,
Yeah,
you
it's like
know,
the dagger to the
all
heart.
afternoon cooking for you kind of
It's
thing.
for
So
you.
it kind of backfire sometimes.
Oh,
That food is love. Yeah.
I know parents who like when their kids come home from college, they put out the big spread, they make whatever their favorite meal is, they spend the whole week baking cookies. I'm not that mom, and I feel bad because it's not that I don't love them, I just don't really love cooking that much,
Right.
and that's never
Well,
been my way to their heart is through food. My kids, if you're listening, which I doubt they are, it's not that I don't love you, I'm not into cooking so much, so I
well, you know
apologize.
what you need, the other thing for me is like my one daughter loves pretzels. And so food is love means I buy her three different kinds when she comes home.
Okay, well
So,
then I can get behind that. Like
yeah,
I'm all about like I have one who loves Chipotle, so maybe when she comes home from school, even though I don't love it, maybe one night is Chipotle night for her. So
right, right.
I
And
guess
then
there's a
and,
way.
and then I let her take the pretzels home.
Oh,
So
that's
every time she comes
nice.
home, she has a fresh set of pretzels. Okay,
Oh,
so
you're a good mom, Ella.
woo! I setting the bar high. As Taylor
Second
say,
the
setting
bar.
the bar high.
Okay. Here's another one I think. So I think another love language of parenting can be worrying. Like, I will do all the worrying for you so you don't have to. This is, I think, if my husband had a love language, I think his would be worrying because he will think of like if you got a kid who's going on a trip, he's like, well, what did you check the oil and the fluids in your car? Let's go look at the tire pressure. Did you get the GPS coordinates so you know where you're going to be? Did you follow your flight plan with me so that if something happens and something goes wrong, I can be here for you? He is the guy. He's your belt and suspenders, your ride or die. You're not getting anywhere without him worrying about every step of the thing that you're doing, which kind of is a luxury. Like it takes that off of the rest of us because we don't have to worry because he did it for us. So that's,
Well,
do you know anybody like that?
and dovetailing on that is when your kids have like that horrible experience and they call you and they dump on you,
Mhm.
and then they're better, but you're stuck with it.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
And
you're
so,
still stewing.
they call, they're crying, whatever. You hang up the phone, or they tell you this, or then like they're in their room like sobbing, and you're sitting there and you're just, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And
Yes.
then you go check on them and they're all good, and you're still like, seriously?
Yeah, you're carrying the bag for them, right?
So is that in the same vein of you're saying,
Absolutely. You know that saying, "You're only as happy as your least happy child." Like, you
yes,
just, you hang on to it sometimes much longer than they even do. So,
right.
yeah, that's definitely a love language. Is I will hurt on your behalf. I will feel offended for you by that slight that you have sustained
Forever.
forever. Right? I will
Forever.
never forgive that
You
child.
know what? I gotta tell you on that, I had somebody say something about my kid when she was 4 years old,
Uh
and
oh.
it got back to me.
Uh oh.
My child is just turned 29 years old. And when I see that woman, I still give her the hairy eyeball and I maybe say hi.
Do you
So
think she
there.
has any idea? She might not even know that she offended
I
you.
don't care. In my book, she's dead to me.
Eka, you are bringing it as the
Okay.
mom here. You got it.
Okay.
So the physical affection we talked a little bit about the hugs. There are still some kids I think who want the hug, even if they don't ask for it,
Yeah.
or they might actually come and give you one when they need it. I would say the last love language that I have put in here is like I would say gifts of service, acts of service. I think that really that's me. If I had to pick one as a parent, my way of showing them love is like when they're down and out or if they're stressed beyond belief, I'll do the little thing like I'll be the one who I'll just go get you a random Starbucks treat. I'll fold your laundry even though normally they do their own. I'll maybe I'll gas up your car so that you didn't have to worry about it because I know you've got a meeting, but you're focused on something else. Or that to me is like how I show them that I love them. I'm thinking about these things for them. It's not that I don't want to be hovering. I don't want to be the snowplow parent or any of that. It's just there are times when I think that's the way I can show my love the best to them is like, I know you're in a hard, tough spot right now. Let me just take a little something off your plate or do something to just to let you see that I'm thinking about you. So I guess that's my number one love language as a parent.
Right. And I remember when they're in school, like during finals week or during a time like midterms or when something was a big time for them at school, like, and I let a lot of things like slack off. They didn't have to, I didn't nag about the shoes and the backpack and all that kind of stuff because that was like the last thing they needed. So during those times, I always, kind of went a little bit easier because, my husband would be like, why are you nagging this? I was like, because you give them an inch, they take a mile, kind of thing. And then during those times, I would do extra things. One of my love languages was when they were younger, every time I made their lunch, I put a note in their lunchbox.
Oh, that's a literal love language. Oh, yeah. I love it.
We like left and I just figured they threw them away. And then one time I looked somewhere, I was cleaning and I found like a huge pack. My daughter had been saving them and they were like in a little box in her room or something.
Oh my gosh. I think I just got all the feelings from that.
Oh, but and they, I think it's funny that I did this. I don't know. It wasn't a big deal. Like, today is Tuesday and of course I'm thinking about you or, happy Wednesday from me to you with like a little heart. It wasn't anything huge, but it was just like a little note in their lunch.
That is the sweetest. I love that.
But then, then they started eating lunch at school and they started buying their lunch. And then, so.
No more notes from mom.
No more notes from mom.
Dried up. Now you have to buy them pretzels.
What was I going to do? But you know what? I still do things like sometimes when they would go off to college and stuff and they would have their bags packed, I would stick a card in there, like in one of their bags. Sweet. Like right before they left, I would like stick a card in there or whatever. So, that reminds me, you should start doing that again.
Yeah, I love that idea. Just, showing those little acts of love sometimes mean the most. And we don't even know that it means that.
I don't think it has to be huge,
No.
I don't think it has to be huge. If they're sitting, just say they're sitting at they're sitting on the, you go walking in their room and they're just like, whatever, laying on the floor, doing work, whatever, just going by, rubbing their head and saying something, like, I love you today, or I love you, or hey, you look like
only today. Yesterday, not it. No. Yesterday,
we're rubbing their head or something, and then saying like, "Looks like you're working hard."
Yeah.
Or, if if you want to take a break, if you want to talk to me, whatever, just acknowledging their presence around or just acknowledging them sometimes.
That's nice. I would like to do more for my kids like that. Like if they're sitting on the couch with me next to me, I would love to rub their feet, but they hate it because they're super, super ticklish. And I love to have my feet rubbed. So sometimes it's like, you really have to think about like, not what I would want, but what they would want. And that can be hard to get out of your own head on that. If you're watching us and you have ideas or you think you want to tell us how you like, what you think your love language is for your kids or what they do and don't like, we would love to hear about it. Do you think, Eka, I have one last question for you before we wrap up. What, if anything, do you think is your kids' love language for you? And it might be different. Like you have two girls and they're very different. So they might have different love languages.
I'm trying to think. I have one.
They love you. They do love you, right?
Yeah, I think so. I have one daughter who isn't very affectionate and is not very communicative and so every birthday and Mother's Day she always writes the same thing in the card, which is fine, and it says, I know I don't show you, I know I don't tell you, but I want to thank you. I want to get all misty. I want to thank you for always being my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader,
Wow.
and making me feel that you will always love me. And it's like almost like verbatim, but she doesn't do it during the year enough. So I think she takes this opportunity to write it in my birthday card and my Mother's Day card.
And I bet you keep those cards. So you
Duh.
duh.
Duh. Well, so that's one for them. And my other daughter, she's just very affectionate. So she's always, every time we talk and every time we text, she always ends with "love you, mom," kind of thing. So look,
we have someone to share.
We have someone come in. You know how to do that? I don't know how to put it up on
the
screen.
No, I think Jessica might be behind the scenes, and if she is, she'll share it. Thank you, Jess. Shadi says, I love texting my children a funny meme, an inspiration quote, a funny emoji, or just saying I love you daily when they're at school. They love that. Oh, texting is a total love language. And memes.
Right.
I found out that memes are the love language between my two girls. Like, there's a lot of times when they're both teenagers in the house and you think that they just bicker all the time, and you start thinking, do my own kids even like each other? And then I found out they had this whole like subtext of how they communicate, which is via texting each other funny memes and vines. They have a whole secret language that only they know about, and it's because of that. So I think that's great. And I do think also like texting, sometimes I'll text my kids throughout the day, like a little picture of the cat or something that's silly.
Yeah, I do that too. I send memes, or through Instagram. I will forward some stuff I see on Instagram, like a funny video and stuff. So there's easy ways to do that,
And it's like the note in the lunch. It's just saying, I'm thinking about you. That's
Right.
what they're getting from that. I'm thinking about you. And especially it's one thing if you put it in the group chat for like your whole family, but sometimes if you send something to just that child because it's something that is their sense of humor or something that you've talked about, it might make them feel like, oh, I'm being especially recognized and singled out. And they never outgrow that. I really don't think so.
Well, we don't either. I mean, we have somebody else.
It's Shadi. She has another comment. She says, "You go ahead, Eka. You can read this one for us."
My son is not very expressive and affectionate, so I find texting him very effective. He always responds. I totally get that. Totally get it, Shadi, because it's the same thing. But you know what I mean? Think about it like amongst friends. When I find memes and stuff that remind me of a friend, I always send them.
Yeah.
And and I have some that I would never send to anybody but one friend, and then I have some that are really awesome that I might send to a couple different friends. But yeah, I think it's really become this century's greeting card, to send like a cute meme or a cute video or something. So
absolutely, again, it's just I'm thinking about you, this made me think of you. That makes the person feel seen, I think, and recognized for what your relationship with them is, which is really what it's about. It's
right. And you have to figure out what works for each child. It's not a one size fits all.
For sure not.
And they, and even with adult children, for me, it doesn't stop.
Right.
I mean, I don't ever think it stops.
No.
So I'm going to keep sending the memes and the texts. I'm going to have the pretzels in there and the White Claws when my other one comes home, like what they like.
That is so true. Having a little something that they like makes them feel special. And I still like it when my mom, so like at Thanksgiving, I asked my mom to make pecan pie. And every year she says, oh, does anybody actually eat that? I feel like I make it and nobody eats it. And I have to remind her, I'm like, yes, I do. I eat it. I'm the one who wants it. I still want to be treated specially by my own mother. So the parenting job never ends, clearly.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. You have to, I think you do it for the rest of your life. And I mean, I think it just is different than from when they're little.
Absolutely. So we loved everybody's thoughts on this today. I want to hear, you can continue to chime in on this, even on Facebook later. If you have thoughts about it, we want to hear what your love language is and what you think your kids' love language is for you too, because I think that's also very sweet to think about. So Eka, start thinking about what we're going to talk about for next week, because I think we're back.
Fun. Let's see. Wait, I'm looking at my calendar. It might be a little too early to talk about holiday stuff, or
I don't think it is, because supply chain. There's definitely, you don't want to be stuck out in the cold ordering too late. So if it's we can talk about holiday related things. It's Hanukkah right now. Happy Hanukkah to those who are
Right.
celebrating. We're about 3 nights in, I think. 3 nights.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, tell us what kinds of, we want to hear like what's been a hit and what's been a miss with the holiday gifts. We'll spend a little bit of time on that next week, and then whatever other crazy stuff we can think of. So tune back in next Wednesday at 10:30. Eka will be riding along with me again. I didn't really give her a chance to say no. You'll notice I just assumed she will be here. So
Let me check my calendar.
oh, would you please? Hey, I know you. You have a wall calendar.
It's right here.
I know. Which reminds me, it's December. Flip your calendars, people, if you still
Yeah,
have
it's
them.
December. Can you believe it? Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, look,
all right, everybody.
we got one more person.
Oh, yes. The
My
one to leave out, Sarah. Oh, my girls love me getting silly with them. Oh,
Yeah, that's always fun.
that is.
You have to have a kid who has your sense of humor. I have one who has my sense of humor, and the two of us can laugh till we almost pee our pants. And the other one just stands there and looks at us like, you guys are idiots. So you gotta get silly with the right one.
Yeah, right. You gotta pick the right one for the right approach. So
yeah.
Thanks everybody for sharing with us today, and we will see you again next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye.